Hi everyone, I'm Ravi Handa, founder of the website handakafanda.com, and today we are going to talk about the marking scheme in the XAT exam. Now it's a little bit different from all the other MBA entrance exams, and you will know why do I say so very shortly. This video is powered by Praxis Business School based in Calcutta. The business school offers PGDM in marketing, finance, HR, operations, and data science designed for the digital ecosystem. It's a great choice for students who are getting scores between 80 to 90 percentile in CAT, XAT, or CMAT. So let's have a look at the marking system. Now, all questions in XAT are objective. It is not like the CAT where some questions are objective and some questions are fill in the blank or theta where you need to manually enter the answer. That doesn't happen in XAT. In XAT, all questions will have options. Mostly, they'll have 4 or 5 options, and you need to pick the correct one. You get a +1 for all the correct answers. The negative marking exists, but it exists only in part 1. What is part 1? Part 1 of the paper has quant, verbal, decision making and all that. We have another video on XAT paper pattern. Probably you should check that out as well. Now in this, you get negative marks for incorrect answers. Now that's pretty common across the board in any MBA entrance exam. You will have negative marking if you answer a question incorrectly. What makes that different is the next point, that here you have negative marks for even unattempted questions. Yes, so suppose you choose to attempt a question, you get it right, you get positive, you get it wrong, you get negative. That is standard across the board. But if you decide to skip a question, then you might have a negative marking there as well. Why do I use the word might? We'll shortly discuss that too. Then there is part 2, which is GK. That will have 25 questions, 15 minutes, no negative marking, so nothing to worry about there. Also, the marks that you get for part 2, which is in GK, are not used for calculating your overall XAT percentile. Now, how does the negative marking work? Minus 0.25 for every incorrect answer. So that's a 25% negative. CAT, for example, has 33.33% negative, which is minus 1/3. XAT, on the other hand, has minus 0.25. That is 1/4 marks is deducted for every answer that you mark wrong. Also, there will be minus 0.1 for the questions that you did not attempt. So suppose you decided to skip a few questions because you did not know them, because you didn't have time, there could be various reasons. Then you will be penalized for it. The penalty is very, very small. That's just minus 0.1. But yes, there exists a penalty because the paper setters want you to go through all the questions, at least see all the questions, and then skip it if you don't know that. And that's actually possible as well because you have only 74 questions in the XAT exam. Let's take a few examples to clarify how much you would score. So suppose the total number of questions is 74, and that has remained 74 for the last couple of years. 50 of them you get right, 20 of them you get wrong, and 4 you did not attempt. So for the 50 correct, you will get 50 points. For the 20 incorrect, 1/4 for each of them would be deducted, or you will get a minus 5 for this. You left 4 questions, there is no penalty up to 8 questions, so there will be no negative marking for this part, and your score will be 45. On the other hand, let's change those numbers a little bit. 40 correct, 20 wrong, and 14 unattempted. For 40 correct, you get 40 points. For 20 incorrect, 5 are deducted. And for the 14 unattempted questions, 14 minus 8. So 8 skipping is allowed. Beyond that, there were 6 questions that you skipped beyond the ideal. So that means there will be minus 0.6 that will be deducted for it. And your overall score will be 40 minus 5, 35 minus 0.6, which is 34.4. Now, does this mean that you should attempt, let's say, 74 minus 8 or 66 questions? Is that ideal? No, not at all. Please do not think that you should attempt extra questions or you should just guess a few because there is a penalty for unattempted questions. Please do not think that way, because First of all, the chances of getting it wrong are very high, and you might get a minus 0.25 instead of a minus 0.1. And secondly, if you attempt more questions, what will happen is your focus would be lost, and your focus would be on attempting more. Your accuracy would take a massive, massive hit. So please don't be swayed by these unattempted questions. Only attempt the questions that you are sure of. Avoid all guesses as much as possible. In terms of what would be an ideal split, I believe over the last few years, if you look at the paper patterns and the cutoffs, we have another video on cutoffs, so do check that out as well. 40 questions correct, 10 questions incorrect. 50 is a good attempt out of 74. And if you notice here, you have an 80% accuracy, 40 out of 50 you have got right. If you actually end up doing that, you might think that the unattempted questions are 24. It's very, very high. Actually, it is not very high. The penalty is only minus 1.6. So that is 1.5 questions penalty. That's worthwhile. You will get more questions right because you will spend more time on these 50 questions. And then you will end up with an overall score of 35.9. If you actually do this with a score of 35.9 across the last 5 years, you would have gotten a call from XLRI Business Management. That is the top course. And with this, I'd like to end this session. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please remember to like the video, to comment on the video, to subscribe to our channel, and also check out praxis.ac.in. Thank you.